Item number 11, which is to approve the minutes of October 4th and October 9th meetings.
I don't have any.
Gotta go to the left.
Left.
Number 11.
Got it.
Bless you.
One more time. One more time. Come on.
Has to be in threes. Do you have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
All in favor? Motion carried. Item number 12 is budget transfers and amendments. We have two.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Well,
That's number 12. Number 13 is to approve and pay bills.
Good to see it.
first, we're divorcing this.
Okay. Oh, not the one. You're not there yet. On page 29, that's senior services. If you would look at raw food, $3,000.
I'm sorry, what is it?
On senior services, the bill this time for food was $3,000. We can tell,
Yes.
everything's going up.
Good.
Yeah.
No relation.
ask for additional things. There you are, I didn't see it.
I moved.
Talk about how much the autopsy was.
Yeah, I don't know which one that is. I do not know if this is the one. I know we had one that was transported to Limestone County, and I think Limestone County ordered the autopsy, and so she went to, not Swift, she went to another one in Dallas. So I don't know if that's what it was or not. I don't know if is there a,
Sometimes they ask for additional things to be looked at?
I do believe so, Judge. Again, I'd have to know, to give more information, I have to know the name of which autopsy that was. But I do know the one off here recently was,
Yes, that was a few weeks ago though, I think, wasn't it?
it was,
Wasn't it? We had it on this one. You might look at that and see.
is there a name?
I don't know the name.
I know we don't want to say it out loud. I just didn't know if there was a name.
Yeah. She's got all that over there.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor, aye? All right, motion carried. On the payroll, 15 reports. Do we have any reports?
We need to do the payroll, I'll just do
Uh-oh,
it.
That's bills.
All right, we did approve the bills. Item 14 is approve the payroll. Do we have a motion on that?
I'll make it move.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Motion carried. Item 15 is reports. I have a report for the district clerk for September. Also for JP 3. Senior services. A sick leave pool report for April to June.
You should have two.
July to September. Thanks, I didn't see that till I moved that sheet. All right, and none has been used during that period of time. We have one for, a report from the extension agent. That tells what they did last month and what the plans are for this next month. We have the treasurer's report for sick time, vacation time, comp time, holiday time. That is the amount that is outstanding at this time.
That one went through 9:30, Judge.
Through 9:30, yes, thank you. Any other reports?
I think did I give you a copy of the investment and interest report?
Yes, ma'am.
It may have been laying on the desk and I did not see it.
It was kind of right there at the end, so I did.
Okay, it was laying. All right. We do have a report also then from the treasurer's office on investment and interest earned report. You already have one of those?
No. Well, then have two.
No, I have one. Okay. I want to keep one. Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the reports, or accept the reports?
I'll make it move.
Second.
Carried. Item number 16 is the burn ban.
No action.
No action.
No action. We still do not have one on, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, it's all.
All.
We're burning.
We're burning. Item number 17 is special road use agreements. I don't believe we have any. Item number 18 is to approve bonds and education certificates. Does anyone have one? No? No action on that. Number 19, contract and agreement signed between Freestone County and the Library. It's the same agreement that we always have. They will provide those services, and in return, we will provide whatever funds are agreed to. It says library agrees to furnish the county with an annual budget and a report on, county agrees to provide whatever is in the budget each year.
For what we agreed to budget.
Yeah.
Which I've received all of that.
You need a motion on that, or do
We do.
I make a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And same thing for number 20,
I'll make that motion.
Fairfield.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Item 21. Karen, will you tell them to go ahead and sit down, I'll be there in a minute.
Yes, Fairfield is there.
Thank you. All right. Consider seal bids for the sale of a 2001 Dodge one-ton single cab flatbed diesel through sealed bids.
That is a precinct 3 road bridge truck, front end's wore out, a lot of oil leaks, motor's still good, transmission's still good, but the rest of the truck is just doors and everything else is whole. So we want to run an ad in the paper. And I've talked to a few people before I put this on the agenda to make sure I could get some bids for at least what it's worth. You know, if somebody was to part it out. And so I think I have a couple of people interested, but they know that once we get it in the paper, they can come look at it if they want to. So I'm make a motion to put that paper up.
Go out for bids. Okay, the motion is to go out for bids
Second.
for, then the rest of it. We have a motion, is there a second?
Clyde second.
Oh, all in favor, aye.
Okay.
Motion carried. Item number 23 is to discuss hardware to be installed in the deputies' vehicles. Do we know enough yet to discuss that even? Y'all have a little conversation about what we talked about the CAD thing. Excuse me for just a minute. Would you kind of talk about our situation?
There was meetings yesterday at the new building and Windstream Emergency Management from the state. Several representatives came in. The Windstream, we're going to need to bring fiber lines into the Windstream into the building there for connectivity to servers, both for the state and for the new CAD system. So right now there's not, we got to get a ticket from Windstream, and they're not sure of, we're being given estimates of 30 to 60 days. I mean, right now we're looking at February, mid-February to mid-March. And it's just the connectivity issue is primary.
Hawkeye said that we had to have 4, is it fiber?
And yeah, I need four fiber and then
That's just for 911. That's 3 that they'll utilize and 1 spare. And then the county, we would need 2 for any additional offices that went up there. Rather than turning in 2 work orders, it was Hawkeye doing us a big favor saying that we'll turn in the work order for 6, whatever the charge is for the extra 2, then they'll bill us.
So everything's running parallel.
Yeah, that
It's
way
a timing issue, so they don't get theirs, we don't get ours, we
It
get ours.
has to be engineered out of, their engineers have to look and see where that fiber can come from, where they have the,
And then on the launch on the CAD system that we've got to look into as well is cellular connectivity. I was talking to the sheriff about it, that we got dead spots in the county, and the way that the system's set up is, if we don't have cellular connection, they're out, the sheriff's out with a laptop, and he's in a dead spot.
Go to Wildwood.
I'm sorry.
Go to Wildwood, there's nothing, no cell.
Well, there's a lot of spots across the county that way, and you know, I think emergency management might have some insight on where these dead spots are at. Supposedly AT&T, as I understand, is putting in a new tower in the area which might give us extended range. We may be able to do range extenders. This all kind of came up yesterday, so we're having to dig into it to find out what are our options. Starlink would be the best, and we can contact, find out when service will be available. But if we can get Starlink, that would give us complete coverage. That's the whole idea behind it, is it gives complete 100% coverage, so it would take away any dead spots. It's just a matter of what the availability is going to be. So there are just some pacing items, and so anyway, the target date's been moved. I think the judge has got February 17th is kind of our best, and then middle of March is the worst case scenario. And it could change if Windstream gets back to us and say, hey, we'll have you connected up middle of December or something, then that they will move forward. That's kind of the pacing item right now.
Not what we wanted to hear, but that's the best we could do. They could do. All right, so then back to the hardware. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, I don't know too much about it myself. We do.
Yeah, as I understand, I haven't looked at it yet, but the server has been received into the sheriff's office, still sitting in the box. Obviously, there's a meeting going on with your.
October 30th. Oh, no, that's the body camera.
Okay, the body camera, which will be part of the system as well, right? And then the laptops, I don't know, I've seen a bid on the laptops, but.
Yeah, we got two bids in on the laptops. I'm not sure what the difference is. I know there's a huge difference in cost. I'm not sure why there's a huge difference in cost.
Okay, we can look into that.
Right, but that's, to me, a laptop, so I don't, when they start talking about other stuff that goes with it, it's way above my head.
And I'll work with the sheriff on that. I received one bid, I didn't realize there was two bids, so I'll need to get a copy of the other bid, and then we'll evaluate, and if we need to, we'll go out for a couple more and make sure we get the best deal for the county.
Okay, well, we may talk about that at the next agenda then.
Okay.
At least we got it rolling and we'll see where we are. Great, thank you. All right, item number 23 will be tabled. You have a motion to table?
Make that motion. Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Number 24, designation of funds for SB 22. You have some stuff that Karen has prepared for us. I think, for one part of that, the DA's office, the discussion had been that you're expecting the funds when?
Probably February-ish, so
February.
hopefully by the end of February.
Okay.
So,
All right, and are we in agreement to start paying when the funds come in? We'll just, however, I know you'd rather start now, but we don't really have the funds, so however much you have and however you designated it, you'll divide it out.
Personal,
Those months.
yes, ma'am. I think personally, I'd like them to start now, but I think that's a commissioner's court, county judge decision. So I think I'm not running the budget or looking at what y'all are looking at up there. So again, personally, would want them to start now, but again, understand decision making up there is different from my decision making.
And it's not actually in our budget. It's in a special budget, and we didn't realize it was gonna be so long, so we probably just didn't transfer enough funds to cover that, thinking maybe it was gonna be here earlier.
yeah, we just transferred 75,000. That's what's in the budget.
We budgeted 75.
Right.
Okay, you got the money to pay it, you can't pay it. Hello?
And
You
you,
still get the full amount, and just be amortized over a less amount of months.
I definitely understand that, and Judge, I think, brought that up last time. I know there was a talk between what was budgeted and taking something from contingency, and again, that's more y'all's, decision-making, so I understand where you're coming from, and absolutely, I understand that the total amount will be there once we get the funds,
Yes.
so, like I said, understand where you're coming from.
Sorry about that.
No problem, Judge, no problem.
All right.
Well, let me just say one thing, because the contingency thing works within the general fund, and that we've got this specialized over in a different fund, and they've only allowed for the 75 to be transferred into that fund, that's the difference. I mean,
No, and I am good. What I'm saying is I'm good with following orders. So whatever the court decides,
I'm
we
gonna
will.
remember that.
For this issue. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Whatever the court decides is best, dealing with the budget and moving money over, we can make it work.
Thank you.
Hopefully it continues to be there.
Or you could ask Shipley for half that money.
All right.
Judge, for the payroll side, the payroll that we're in right now that started Monday, starts the October the 1st. And so it really affects payroll, that we have to figure out who's supposed to get it this time and who isn't, and I know that's what you're gonna work on. I just wanna say that, it's really made it really tough
Yeah.
on us. We don't even have payroll done and haven't even got it to the auditor's office. And I'm not saying that's the only reason, but it has been a contingent of that.
One thing I will bring up that I do think needs to be brought up now is that we lost our grant for the victim coordinator spot. Now, I am now paying her through Senate Bill 22, right? The full amount. Now, who knows why that grant went away? I think probably them giving this amount of money. I think I've heard of counties, they're either cutting it down or pulling kind of that victim coordinator grant back because they are giving out state funds on the other side of things. So I guess as I sit right now, if we're waiting till February or then,
No, there's enough funds, I think, for that.
for that.
allow for that.
Okay, for that, because that position's a little bit different than my other positions, right? Because the
Yes.
full funding's coming from Senate Bill 22. So as long as we have that,
It's-
that'd be the only
I
issue.
figured in there, and there's plenty.
Good. I know me and you
We
discussed
have-
that earlier, just making sure that that position,
Yes,
we're good. Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yes.
All right, so what we're here to discuss is is it mainly discussing the salary for the sheriff's deputies and for the sailors? Is that what we're here to discuss for, what you need to know right now?
Yes.
We had kind of talked about it before, but there wasn't any actual,
So in the conversation with Sheriff Shipley, he had told me that he believed that it had already been approved to go to the 40 and the 45. And so
yes.
that was the part we were trying to make sure of. Do
And I
we need
think we
to
have
know
that in the budget. Was
Yes.
that on the sheets on the budget, that it would go to 40 and 45?
That is what we had, in the SB 22, that is what we had figured up on that 099 fund, yes.
And just to make it official though, we'll do this, make that in the motion that we make.
And again, because I can't remember exactly what was adopted at budget time, but since then, I know we've had two
We didn't-
employees.
We had said, what made me think about that after you mentioned it was, we had said, don't worry about what's in that special fund, because we hadn't really said everything in that special fund. So let's just make it a motion to have all that in it, that way you won't have a question.
We just know that 40 and 45 is the minimum requirement to get
Yes.
the rate.
Yes, and so the deputies and the deputies will all be at 75. No.
45.
No.
He would like that, but no.
Yes.
45.
I don't believe it.
So is it 40 and 45?
40 and 45.
40 on the trailers,
So-
45.
And the deputies are already at 45, and-
Yes.
except for one.
Yes, okay.
With the raise that was given.
Okay.
So you see the one tape on there without the raises, which includes the sheriff, Gary Dollar, and the jailers, to 40,000. It's 44,817.
Yeah, Gary Dollar gets to 45.
Yes, uh-huh.
But that hard September gets $5,000 raise.
What'd you say?
Because of the hiring amount.
Well, the higher end's gonna always be 45.
Yeah, well, he didn't get, so he didn't get the $2,500 raise because he hired after the budget was approved. So the SB 22 to move him up to the 45 is higher than it would have been if somebody would have been here with the 2,500, so.
Basically, you're raising the starting salary of a jailer to 40,000 and a starting salary of deputy to 45,000,
Okay.
which is still lower than everybody else.
And then we add all the deputies to 50,000, and the jailers and the sheriff on the other one.
That's on this.
Yeah, but it's right here, I've got it totaled up, yeah, but exactly how much it, my main thing is for us to make sure we've got the money to do it now or later, or y'all wanna do it now?
This, the back side of this page right here, this is showing with the 50,000.
Yes, sir. And it's also showing the grand total with the incentives. This is just the page y'all asked me to come up with for y'all.
Yes.
And that's what I did. That goes to the 50,000 and shows the incentive. Now, I don't believe, go ahead, Karen.
I didn't include the incentives in that, those figures with the raises, the 50,000 to the 50,000.
But on her tabulation sheet, like she said, the first column that she gave y'all, that's without this that I gave y'all here. So it's not that one.
Which one are you looking for? This one?
The one like that.
This is current. This would be
That made it up to the 45,
No.
50.
the 50.
So you're gonna have Dollar getting a $9,300 raise.
I don't know what it is, I just know what starting pay needs to be.
No matter if you move everybody to 50.
Yep.
And he was,
So you're gonna have guys that's been there a long time, that's making 49 right now, they're gonna get a $600 raise. And you're gonna have some guys that's been there a few months, that's getting a $9,000
I'm
raise.
perfectly good with that.
actually, he came September the 4th, so it wasn't long.
Because you gotta also think of the experience and years of service they had somewhere else too.
I agree with that, I agree with that.
And I can't fix everything, I can only get it to where I need, what I can do, you know, this go around.
I understand getting the pay up to get the positions filled, but it's still a slap in the face to people that's been working for Freestone County, not just experience elsewhere, but been in this county for 7 or 8 years.
I guess my take on that is we kind of feel like we get slapped in the face anyway from not making what everybody else is making around us. And the commissioners have done really good the whole time I've been here as sheriff to try to get that pay up every single year. So it's not, I'm not saying that we haven't had y'all's help by any means, but we were so far below where we should have been in the first place, you know, we're just now really catching up.
And that makes it look kind of good that the SB 22 for rural counties come out in 45 minimum, and we didn't have one position that was under that.
That's why a lot of the counties were able to go to that higher pay, because they were already over it too. They've gone to they're moving to that higher pay.
So some of our surrounding counties are going above and beyond,
Yes.
even if their guys were over.
Oh, yeah,
45.
yes. I've already talked to Leon, Limestone, and Anderson, and they're all, like I said, that's a whole different tax bracket ball game in the Bureau, but they're all moving to 50 to 52,000. And
That's what Leon County's at.
that's what Sheriff Ellis told me, yes. And they all have certificate pay amongst the other stuff they got. They got a whole list of things they get, you know, extra pay on. So I've just asked for the certificate pay, which the certificate pay is a good difference. And when you were talking about people being here for so long, or, well, that, you know, your longevity pay and your peace officer license, wherever you're at as far as your intermediate, advanced, masters, you know, that's your difference in your deputies or any peace officer. So you add that to their pay, then they're no longer on the same. They're no longer on the same pay level anyway. It's just your base pay for coming in here is what I'm asking for, at least 50,000.
50,000 plus the
Certificate pay,
plus.
which they don't always get that. If you're coming in and you don't, all you have is a basic license, and you don't get it until you start getting, you know, through your training and years of service, then it kind of goes up from there. That's what the certificate pays for.
We were expecting to get the final regulations in September. We didn't get them then, did we?
Right, and what, according to the Texas Registry, and they've opened it up now for conversation for 60 days, and 60 days from October 13th. So in December, we should be getting the final rulings of the SB 22. So it's not going to change drastically, but, you know, little specifics might.
Do we have the 58,911?
Do we have them? Yes.
And that's including the cert pay.
No.
The cert pay is going to change the FICA and everything else, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many do we have that would change? Here,
If it goes to the 50,
Yeah, it's, they have this?
yes, they.
So you have three of the deputies that I currently employ wouldn't get anything.
did the original.
That's
we did
another
it to the
27,000.
45 Because that's what you have to
Yeah,
pay.
certificate.
They have to be paid.
Certificate pays another 27,000.
That would be correct.
That's correct. Do we have that?
But but understand also that you would have to do the taxes on that
Taxes.
too, so it'd be more than 27,000.
No, we don't.
Well, we don't have, we got it.
I mean, I don't know how we're gonna pay this.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
We would have to know how it would be paid, you know, in order, whether or not we could, how much it would involve. You allowed for this amount of money, but we would need to know exactly per pay period what we would be spending extra to be able to figure that for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
So on the left-hand column that you had, where it said includes the sheriff and the jailers to the 40, we have enough money to pay that,
Yes.
so we're good with that. But we have to,
I don't think I put the crime victim coordinator, but she's in there too. She's the 14,700.
Okay. At the bottom.
Uh-huh.
well, if we're not sure if we have enough with the raises, we probably have to stick to the 45, the 40, and maybe we can work on it by the next one and see for sure.
Well, I mean, we have enough for the raises. We just would need to know the specifics on the incentives.
We got enough money to pay the 75, the 50, and the jail,
Yes,
but we don't know about the incentive. So we can't pay the incentive till we know about it.
so it's 58. So we do have enough without the incentives to raise them to 50.
And when we're talking about enough, we're talking about until the money comes in, correct?
Then we'll be re-talking again.
But we do not have enough for the incentives.
We
Oh, we're
didn't
not
budget.
sure.
No, well, we need to know exactly, we've got from 58 to 75. So that's the amount of money that we have left.
But we also have to worry about all the taxes and retirement and all that.
That goes along with that incentive, so we have to pay on all of that. So we would need to know the specifics that each person would get per month extra to be able to figure that.
Until we get all that figured out. So we have to decide something today so that we can get our payroll finished.
Yes.
I make a motion to rate the sheriff gets 75, the deputy 50, the jailers, whatever.
Trailers would be 40.
58, 9, 11, dot. I need to buy some ink. 65.
Sorry about that.
58, 9, 11, 65.
All right, is that a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a second?
What was the motion again?
Look, over here with the rate, Karen, this column.
Of course, the sheriffs were doing to 75, the deputies to 50, and the jailers
To 40.
40.
And the crime victim coordinator's
Right.
salary.
14,768. That's 58,000.
And you got that calculated on how many months?
5.
5 months?
Yeah,
Ten
you're just
acres.
making a motion to cover till the money comes in.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we'll be figuring on the incentive, see if we can work it out down the road. If you had the incentive with the 58, that's 85,000. That's your won't fit.
That's what I was looking at, that's why I was wondering about the 5 months.
We just have a motion.
Right, we just need to know the pay period for the citizens.
You're sure that's the way you wanna spread that money out?
Well,
The
that's,
deputies?
that, I can't fix everything. I mean, obviously, you know, sergeants, lieutenants, chief, I mean, they need to bump too from where they're at, but
Well, I guess.
we're hurting on the bottom end, where we need to compete with everybody else hiring people and what they're paying.
I think the question probably is, for example, like the one that had just been hired a month ago.
Mhm.
Would you just want to move him up to 45?
Absolutely not. He's got 15 years' experience as an officer.
And I see the experience part, but I just, like I say, I see you getting some.
No. And the thing, and the way I see it, and I've been here, 22, 23 years, regardless necessarily of your experience, like I said, that should come with your certificate of pay and longevity. But we're all doing the same job out there, every one of them. They clock in the same, they clock out the same, and they do everything the same in between. So to me, I get why some people may want some more money and some people don't, but I've been doing this job a long time, and I know what's happening in that office, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
I'm just asking.
Yes, no, and I get it, I mean, because I hear it in my office too, but I also know my employees. So,
Okay.
I don't think anybody's gonna be upset with making $50,000, when we used to make 27 when I first started. So
We got the money and everything's good to go. I second Andy's motion.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Is
Thank
that
you.
it, Jenny?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
How much is the crime victim's salary?
It's $14,768.
She's a part-time, just to throw that out there, she's a part-time and she's making an hourly salary, so it's.
14,768.
Hey, I was looking on our calendar, we signed up for that deal in Belgium, November 1st, which would be our regular meeting. So we need to move our next
Have
regular
it
meeting.
on this one.
Based on
We should have had it on this one to
I
change.
thought it was,
I know, it's not on there, sorry about that.
okay.
What day would y'all like to reschedule?
And the next day, whatever worked, don't want to foul nobody up.
How about if, let's see, it's the 1st?
Yeah,
How about if we have it on the 31st? That way we
yeah,
could,
we won't mess up
Change it
payroll,
next
yeah, we're.
I didn't hear what you were discussing. I'm sorry.
We gotta move our next meeting.
Oh. Yeah, it should mess up payroll, because we're a payroll behind, so. what y'all
Okay, I didn't
think?
want to,
if we have it on October the 31st, a meeting, then we can always, not have it on the 1st.
Halloween.
Okay,
Lloyd.
we missed that, so. We have a
I just
motion
have to
to
look
adjourn.
at my
I
calendar.
got some other stuff.
Yes, yes. That's what I was
Go ahead,
going on.
fine.
Okay,
Go ahead. I'm glad you said
Sorry.
that.
I know everybody's probably aware of the phone problems that we've had. And we need to somehow figure out so that the sheriff has, so that they have communication with the courthouse doesn't, or vice versa. I mean, and I know you're brand new, but there's something needs to be done so that the public can get a hold of the sheriff's office. And I know Jeremy
That's a
did a good
idea,
job.
Bill.
Yeah, and it happens, and I think it's because the phone system is in this building, so when this building goes out, it takes out my building.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't know if we
Maybe
need
that's
to.
why we should get a generator.
so that's the problem, and
But
I
that's
explained
just
it, well, wait a
Let's
minute.
go back to a generator.
They don't run the court out.
That's right, that's the problem.
Can we put the phone system
And it
for the
also-
sheriff's office in the sheriff's office and not over here?
All of it.
all that stuff, it runs wires over here, so I don't know what it would cost to get all that
Well,
changed.
We'll look into that for
But
us.
it's not
Well,
two
yeah,
separate
well,
phone
we're
systems.
Let me address some of the issues around that. There is one thought though, the moving over to the new facility with the new generator over there. And this is a thought, we may be able to utilize this generator here, so when there is a knockout, it's firing up the sheriff's office. Or the courthouse, whichever, but anyway, use that as backup power. But we're also, looking at, we got a meeting tentatively scheduled, right, with Windstream for a new phone system, so we'll.
Yes.
So that cloud-based phone system, that Andy designed, is that something that regardless where it's at, or does it need to have
It's gonna need
be
to
somewhere
have-
with a generator, but can we
It's
still
gonna-
operate all the rest of the buildings off of it?
Yeah, it would run off of your fiber. It's gonna be internet-based, but as long as you got some backup and even backup battery, power supply, something that it should stay up.
So maybe we can connect just the phone part? Never
So
mind.
you
Yeah,
have,
it's
so what
reimbursed,
you
and
have,
I'll address it.
so what you have right now is you have all the phone switches and everything
Yeah, I mean,
over
that's
here.
important.
And the
Yes,
elevator.
if we
And
can get hold of them,
yes,
you know.
ma'am.
And the elevator,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
when it went off, somebody was stuck
And
in the
because we
elevator.
don't
What's-
have a
what's stuff in
generator.
the boat?
Lydia,
Who?
Lydia, the
Cleaning
lady that
line.
cleans.
That wasn't a message I got. I got, somebody told me the judge was stuffed in the elevator.
It was
They left me in there, so it wasn't that, so, anyway, all right, then we have a motion to adjourn.
Not yet, one other thing on, talking about the elevator.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
no, go ahead, go ahead.
just that, we had a fire department call and request that if we could purchase it's a master set of keys, it's supposed to fit all elevators. We thought about getting, a set for Teague Fire Department and a set for Fairfield.
All we need to do is get a purchase order if we want to do that.
Okay.
Yes, we'll
And
do
then-
that.
More keys for this elevator here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll order those.
Just briefly going back to the autopsy, I'm gonna make a phone call, see kind of what's up with that
Okay.
amount, just to, I'm not saying that the cost is gonna go down, but at least be able to give an explanation. And then I think I'm gonna work with the auditor's office. If one comes in that's over the normal amount, they'll get in touch with me. I'll make a phone call. Again, not saying that the cost is gonna go down, but at least be able to give a explanation to the court as to why it may be
Thank you so
more
much.
than normal.
That did seem like there was a lot. Do we have a motion? Adjourn.
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Do it.
Motion carries.